So in this video I'm going to cover some of the ongoing monthly and annual costs that you're going to need to pay as a service accommodation holiday home operator. And it's something we get asked a lot because people come from the buy-to-let background, and in that situation the tenant pays the council tax, the gas and electricity. But as service accommodation operators we are going to need to pay that. So you're responsible. The guests can't pay the gas and electricity, that's in the nightly rate, so you're going to be paying your mortgage, rent, your insurance, slightly different insurance as well to make sure you're covered for liability. Don't skimp and save on this, doesn't matter if you can save £10 a month, get decent liability insurance and landlord insurance for the short-term rental market. Next thing is your gas and electricity. Just don't have prepayment meters, just don't, it's never going to work, it's horrific, it'll lose you money. Lots of owners still do it, but if you happen to have prepayment meters in there, you're going to need to take them out, even if it costs you a few £100, just do it. If you've got guests in there and the electricity goes out and you need to send someone to top it up, it's just going to lose you money. So pay the money to get your electricity and gas meters done to bill meters. Don't have prepayment meters ever in service accommodation. So next thing is good quality Wi-Fi. Mentioned in another video, don't scrimp and save on $5.99 Wi-Fi. You're not a shrewd business person, a great deal, it's just going to cause you hassle. We've seen it time and time again. Got a little one-bedroom apartment that's a studio and tiny, perhaps. But if you've got a family going and 3 or 4 people are on their phones and streaming, it's just going to go slow. And I guarantee you, a horrible bed will get you less abuse online than bad Wi-Fi. And if your Wi-Fi keeps breaking, it's just going to, guests are going to really be annoyed about it. So trust me. So you're going to need to pay for Wi-Fi and decent Wi-Fi. Next thing is your cleaning and changeovers. So you're going to need to pay this as a landlord. We say pay it because it comes out of your money, but it's rolled up into the guest charges and the nightly rate. So although we're saying you need to pay, you know, 40, 50, 60 pounds for a changeover, that's just part of the cost that the guest pays. So think of it as a hotel. You don't go in and say there is your bed and there is your cleaning. It's sometimes done like that in serviced accommodation where there is a cleaning fee, but your property manager, if you work with us, will sort that out and they'll make the nightly rate, whether it's the nightly rate plus cleaning or the nightly rate inclusive of cleaning. Depends where they're getting the booking and what platform it's on. But the guest pays that as their rental money per night. So although you're paying for it, it's just paid by the guest and the money that they pay, directly or indirectly. And again, this can be quite expensive and it's sometimes quite shocking and you're like, wow, I need to pay £65 to change my property over. Well, that's for the linen, to get it changed, done, tea towels, bath mats, these things as well. It is a massive cost, one of the biggest costs you'll have as an owner, but again, you can't do it, you can't live without it. You could do these things yourself, and some do if they're on the partnership service, but most landlords, if they're on a fully managed service, we need to get professional cleaners in. They can do it much quicker, they're on call, but cleaning is a big part of what you're going to need to pay for to get things nice for your guests. And if you scrimp and save on that to get cheap cleaners and pay them an hour rather than 2 hours, they're just going to come and find stuff everywhere and leave you bad reviews. And after 4 or 5 bad reviews, your property's game over because nobody's going to book it. 1-star reviews for cleaning, and people see 5 of those reviews, no one's ever booking it in the future. So start off right and find a good quality cleaning team. If you're working with us, your local property manager will have all these on hand, pre-vetted, good to go. We know that they're good quality cleaners that will do the service that you require. Next thing is the replenishables. So we're going to need to put things in for your guests. And that's up to you and your property manager to decide. Definitely going to need a toilet paper, definitely needs some tea and coffee and some things for them arriving. Now, some owners will say, well, why self-catering? Why would I be putting toilet paper in a self-catering apartment? Imagine turning up at 12 at night and there's no toilet paper. I have been there many, many times when I've went down to England. Been in a service apartment and there's nothing worse. It's a really horrible start to that process and customer experience. Stuck for the toilet and there's nothing, there's no tea, no coffee, no even anything, and you have to go out and buy it. It's a really horrible first impression. Don't do it. So what do we do? What level do we put a little welcome basket in? Well, that's up to you. You might have a high-end apartment, you'd put little espresso machines, you'd put a bottle of wine, shortbread, anything, a little welcome basket. It's totally up to you, and it would be down to the level of your individual property and the level of guest experience that you want to give them. But you will have a small charge, and perhaps your cleaner will roll that up into their cleaning fees, but expect to be spending, between a couple of pounds and £15, depending if you want to put a really amazing welcome basket in for your guests. But that is going to be part of your monthly costs. And don't enter into that. If you don't want to buy toilet roll for your guests arriving, service accommodation holiday homes is not for you. The next thing we always say is put some money there to spend on repairs and renewals of things, because guests will drop things, guests will accidentally smash a cup the same way we would do in our own property. Don't think anybody could say I've stayed somewhere for 5 years and never broke a glass or scuffed something or dropped anything. It's exactly what would happen in own properties. So when guests do these type of things, it might be a broken glass or a smashed plate or just a little scratch. We want to have some money there to spend on the property, maybe to do it up proactively and say, I'm going to upgrade that TV, I'm going to do that, I'm going to get better bedding, nicer cushions. You might want to spend these money in advance to do that, or say they're getting a bit grot, I'm just going to change them, or it goes missing, or it gets ripped. So we can take the money out the guest deposit for that in some instances, and we do wherever we can and it's fair, but have some money there for renewals and repairs, because very much like a hotel, for example, there will be times when towels get covered in mascara or fake tan or something gets spilled. The hotels aren't necessarily chasing you for that. It's just the wear and tear aspect of serviced accommodation. We'll need to replace that at some point. So the next thing is, and it's very infrequent, but it's good to have that there, and we educate all our owners that work with us, is maybe some money for what we call a make it right fund. And we have money at Pillow. If anything ever happens where we make a mistake, we would make it right with the guest. So let's say a cleaner doesn't clean the property and forgets or is running late and the guests arrive and it isn't cleaned. Well, we would instantly make that right. We're not going to be blaming the cleaners. We are instantly going to make that right. Give them £25, £30 into their bank account to go and get a dinner somewhere, or we've got partnerships with local pubs and restaurants when they're open to go and have a few pints or have a family dinner, and then the cleaner goes in and rectifies it. So we have some funds there available, but for items like your boiler breaks or the roof gets a leak or there's a power cut, some money here to make it right. We don't want the guests giving a bad review. Review management is a big part of what the team at Pillow do. We definitely don't want them leaving 1 stars. We want to make it right. And if it costs you £25 or £10 to get them a couple of bottles of wine, then that make it right fund is just a nice thing. Said before, we're in hospitality, not property. Buy-to-let landlords are in property. Holiday home service accommodation owners are in hospitality. It's different. We need to provide that guest customer service.